I'm joined now by Justin Massie. He's a Fulbright Visiting Research Chair in Canada-U.S. Relations at Johns Hopkins University and an Associate Professor of Political Science at the University of Quebec. I want to get your reaction to this vote. There was a lot of press leading up to this week. What do you think the election results say to you?
They basically say that fewer Canadians support the Prime Minister Trudeau now. He's lost the majority of the seats in the House of Commons, but not by such a big margin, I would say. 5 percentage points less than the election in 2015, but still enough to force him to do some compromises in the House. And so it's a diminished Prime Minister, I would say, both because of domestic and international issues that have affected his capacity to win again in second majority government.
What were voters trying to say if you look at the turnout compared to the last election? And also when you look at how people voted by region?
Well, I think Canadians were disappointed. They had high expectations with this new Prime Minister in 2015. He promised a big deal, and he did not deliver everything, of course, as any politician would do. And so there's a disappointment, but there were scandals also. The blackface scandal, the SNC-Lavalin scandal, the India trip as well, that tarnished his image. And basically now what we see in Canadian politics, we've seen that in the past too, is a very polarized by electorate, by regions, I mean. So the Liberal Party had no seats in Alberta and Saskatchewan, 2 major Western provinces. And so this will prove a challenge for his government to have some representation from these 2 provinces and try to find some compromises to get Canadians together, as he promised in his speech yesterday.
Are you surprised that some of those scandals didn't hurt him more? Were you surprised by the outcome?
Not that much, because I think the projections were saying it's going to be a tight race. I think what most political scientists would say was a biggest surprise with the incapacity of the Conservatives to do better gains than this. They were hoping for a minority, if not a majority government, and they lost. They have an incapacity to make gains in Ontario and Quebec, the most populous provinces in Canada. So for the Conservatives, they're the biggest losers of this election, I would say. But for the Liberals, they hang on in Ontario, which is very important in the Greater Toronto area, and in Quebec. But they lost mostly in Western Canada and a bit also in Atlantic, in the eastern part of Canada, and that hurt them.
About a minute left. What would you say are the biggest challenges ahead now for Justin Trudeau and his government?
Yes, well, he'll have to make compromises, probably with the NDP, a left-wing party, and it all depends what the conditions of those compromises will be by the NDP. Would it be climate change, have a stronger plan? Could it be pharmacare? Could it be no expansion of pipelines? So it all depends on these negotiations that will probably have started now between these 2 parties or other parties as well, because they could be without a coalition, just support of agreements by issue case basis. So it really depends on these political negotiations that will happen in the next few weeks.
His job just got a little harder, huh?
It did, definitely.
All right, Justin Massie, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome.